We good? We're on. Hey! It must be noon. It's Festool Friday. This is Festool Live. All right. I always begin this way. And I'm going to shout out to the people in the room and helping us out. We got Big D right over here on the board. We got Chris on the camera. We got Minnie right here on the whiteboard writing your questions out and where you're hailing from. We have Travis. I call him Trappist. He's online answering questions as we go. So
Hi,
just
Travis.
fire away. What's up, Trappist? Okay. Today, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're watching it right here. And hit the notification bell.
We have a very important guest, Miss Marianne Sedgley, who's joined us live today.
No way.
Yep.
Are
Hi,
you watching,
Marianne.
honey? That's my wife watching today. All right. Let's see. By the way, I love you, Marianne. Let's see. Don't forget, we're going to have this on IG and Facebook right afterwards. This also will live on YouTube. So we're really excited. Now, I'm going to call some people out right now, but you guys have been making some really cool comments before we get started. And I want to call out Phil from Montreal first. Okay? Phil, I got to tell you, you made a comment that said this is the best hour of the week. Everybody involved with Festool Live will tell you here in this room and helping us online, this is our favorite hour of the week. Okay, so I'm going to call out a few dignitaries here besides my wife, Marianne. Peter Halley. Hey, buddy. Glad you're here. He's our moderator, or one of our moderators on the Festool Owners Group. That's a great resource for everybody out there. Oliver King. Brian Levette from Helena, Alabama. How you doing, Brian? Also, Donald from Grand Rapids. We got Caldwell, Idaho, Houston, Southern California, Netherlands ×2, Queens, New York, Arizona, Malta. You're back. We love you. Raymond, Maine. Hey, yeah. Glad you could be here. Okay. We have Sweden, Columbus, Ohio, Argyle, Texas, Northern Ireland. All right. Hey, I'm supposed to be in Ireland next week. It got canceled. I'll be there next year. Right, babe? Okay, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay, so enough of that. Today's topic is cordless sanders. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to go through them. I'll give you some tips and tricks on them. I'm going to show you why it's one of our hottest cordless tools out there. And let's get started, okay? There's 3 models. I'm going to get behind here so you can see them, okay? This right here is the DTS, or don't quote me on models, but this is the I got to read it. DTSC, okay, 400. In other words, we have a corded version of it right here. And by the way, that's my second favorite sander. This is my second favorite sander. The RTSC 400 and our 5-inch random orbit sander, the ETSC 125, okay? There's 3 choices. Now, Chris and I were talking at the beginning here. He said, Sedge, you ought to show people the difference between orbital and random orbit. So hopefully we get the overhead here. And whenever I talk about sanders, I'm always talking about the differences between the orbits, whether it's orbital, random orbit, rotex, linear, or rotary. But most of you out there have always used a quarter sheet sander, right? Okay, that's an orbital sander. You know that. It's a vibrating sander, okay? It's not that aggressive. It's more of a finish sander, okay? And it's making an orbit like this. Now, a random orbit is doing this same motion, but it's also spinning with a counterweight, okay? And it's more aggressive, okay? So hopefully you understand that. These two, the DTS and the RTS, are orbital sanders. They're less aggressive. Hopefully you understand that. And then I made these marks on here, so we'll sand those off in a few minutes. Okay, now, this is an 18-volt system. Here's the battery. It's Bluetooth, all right? Now, important, because you're used to, if you know our cordless platform, like on this impact driver, that's our battery, right? Okay, so when you look at this, you're going, oh, man, now I got to have 2 different style batteries. But here's what's really cool about it, okay? Yes, this works on our TCL charger here, okay? TCL3, TCL6, and SC8 Airstream, okay? And that's how you charge these batteries. But you don't need another charger. These batteries charge on the same charger, okay? Just like this. Look, I'll grab this one, okay? And it just slides on just like that, and it charges, okay? So it's still the same charger. It's just, and why did we change it? Because it's more, and what we're known for this, and everything we make, it's more ergonomic, okay? You don't want to be tugging around a heavy battery all day, because you know when you stand for a long period of time. We just made it more efficient and more ergonomic. And once again, all our batteries have these fuel gauges on them. I'm just going to pull this one, okay? And it's the same on these batteries as well. When I hit the button, if you see 3 bars, that means it's 70 to 100% of charge. If it's 2 bars, then it's 40 to 70%. If it's 1 bar, then it's 15 to 40%. And if it's blinking 1 bar, get it on the charger, because it's 0 to 15% of charge. And that's really important, because when you're up on a ladder, and look, when you're up on a ladder and you're sanding, okay, look at the freedom you get with this. Okay, but you know that if it was 1 bar, you'd probably pull another battery with you or change the battery off of the charger, right? Okay, and you get tons of freedom up here to sand. Okay, so that's why cordless, and say you're going out on a job site and you don't want to bring a dust extractor, okay? And this is where I'm going to talk about the bag. We call it a turbo bag. Now, you can hook, and come in here so you can see this. Oh, maybe we can get an overhead here. I'm going to pull the bag. You see these 2 tabs? There's one here and one here. And as I press it, watch. Yes, you can hook it up to a dust extractor. Okay, this is very important. Now, if you've ever used another system that utilizes a canister or a bag, you're like, well, nothing really ever goes in them. Check this out. This is super duper efficient. There's a little tab here, and I'm going to empty it. Whoopsie, the other way. See the little tab here? As I pull it, I'm going to empty some dust out here. Okay? I'm going to snap it back, and that's how you empty it, by the way. And then when I put this back on here, and we were doing some shooting earlier because I wanted you to see this. I want you to notice the holes here on the pad, okay? But on the side of the pad. And as I turn this on, check this out. Look how that just sucks up all that dust right back in the bag. See that? And now I can go to sanding, just like this. So it's actually, and by the way, we better be good at it. We're known for our dust extraction. It is a super efficient turbo bag. So think about the freedom you have now. You got killer dust extraction, okay, and no cord with a Bluetooth battery. And if you want to hook it up to a dust extractor, you can when you're in the shop. Okay, so here's the beauty of the system, okay? We call this a hybrid battery. So say, and you're looking to get a sander, okay? And say you're like, well, a cordless would be good, but I'm not out on the job site all the time. But boy, it would be great to go do some knockout, maybe on sanding a door frame or some jam, whatever, right? Guess what? Check this out. It's a hybrid battery. I could take this, and look how quick this is. I could take that Bluetooth battery out. I could put this in. I'm in the shop. I'm going to swing around here, okay? I'm going to grab my CT48 hose with the adapter. I'm going to put that right in just like this. And you know what? Here, I got a plug-it cord just like this. And I'm back sanding. I'm in the shop. And there I go all day long, everybody. And I'm sanding. Okay, whoa. Hey, Mo, whoopsie. Okay, but it's that easy. So if I'm going out to a job site, I just take that out. I pack a couple of batteries. I put my turbo on there, my bag, and I'm good to go. And I'm just going to flip that around so you can see that. Okay, so we have 3 styles of sanders. I already told you that the ETS 125 is a little more aggressive than the Orbital sanders. But the big question over the years, and now it's the question for cordless DTS versus RTS. I'm just going to pop this back in. Whoop, right here. Woo! Okay, whoa. Make sure it's turned off. Okay. Why an RTS, square sheet sander, versus an RTS? And let's look at this really quick. Okay, you see the pad here? And let's look at the motors, let's look at everything. By the way, all three of these are brushless motors. You'll get great longevity with them. But if we look at this pad, yeah, it looks like an iron, okay? And you're gonna see it's not only triangular, and everybody go, oh, this is the detail sander. Yes and no. I call it an adjacent surface sander. Because if we check the pad out, it's actually got a slight arc to it. So when I put it up against the adjacent surface, it doesn't bump. You'll see this in just a minute. So why not have interchangeable pads? Well, when we were designing these, originally, from what I have been told, they had interchangeable pads, but most cabinet shops said, no, we want one for open surfaces, like a square sheet sander, like this, and one for inside of cabinets. Okay, so let's look at this sander really quick. I'm just going to hook it up to, because I want to talk about Bluetooth with this one. So open surfaces or open areas, adjacent surfaces. See the Bluetooth battery? I'm going to put it in, right? Okay, now, instead of going over to the dust extractor, if I hit this button on Bluetooth here, okay, and Chris, you can probably see it over here, that's now circling the Bluetooth, and now I've actually mirrored or synced the battery to the Bluetooth module on the CT. So, Big D, can I get a overhead here? So say you got some marks on there and you got a sand inside that cabinet. All right, check this out. Adjacent surface sand. What's up? Does it sync to that? Oh, is it? Okay, let's do this. Oh, I got to unplug it first. I got it synced to everything. Okay, now I'll sync it over here. Hey, Mo! I love this. Okay, let's sync it. Thanks, Chris. Wow. Check it out. It's not going to bump. And I can get right in there, and maybe you got some glue line that you got to clean up, okay, or a witness mark. Tell me that ain't a winner chicken dinner right there. Okay, now, all three of them come with these bumper guards. That gets you close to about a 1/4 inch against the sidewall so you don't mar it. Okay, and you can get really close with this or with the ETS. That came from something we developed on the Rotec system early on, but we now have it on our Orbital and Random Orbit sander. Okay, but once again, I need to get right up against there. So that's why this pad is so effective. Okay, so I installed a cabinet and something came up and it got some kind of, well, it was assembling or whatever, and it got a scratch or something. I got to do a touch-up. I can get right in there and flatten it out perfect and do a little bit of touch-up, okay? So the DTS is the winner. RTS, and let's talk about, well, we all know this. One of the most popular formats of sanders out there is the 5-inch random orbit sander. We've been making it for years. This is, I think, man, for me, this is like our 3rd generation of it, or for me, using it, it's the 3rd generation. Okay, I've been around with this. It used to be the ES 125. Now it was the ETS 125 EQ. Now it's the ETS 125 REQ. This is our corded version. Okay, this is the cordless version. All right, and it's simple, everybody. Let me get a battery on there. I like to use one battery so I can flip-flop between everything. I'm just going to unplug this because I'm going to be using that dust extractor. And you know, to unsync a battery, you should unplug the dust extractor. So I'm going to swing over here. And yes, I have the edge sanding attachment. Okay, I'm going to pop that in. Okay. And look at that. So think about it. This is one of your go-to sanders, right? You're sanding the side of a cabinet. It's light in weight, right? Okay. But then you're sanding something like this. It's a little more aggressive, right? What did you write on there? Don't forget to subscribe. Nice, okay? But look at the freedom you have with this. And I don't know if I could teach you anything about a 5-inch random orbit sander because you probably all have them. But this is the one thing I want to really make sure you understand, because I think this is probably one of the coolest things we've come out with in a long time. It's coming out December 1st, and it hooks to or the two tools it hooks to, is the ETS 125 and the ETSC 125 and the ETS 125 REQ. And the reason is because it has this internal groove right here. Hopefully we get that. See it? Because that's what the new edge sanding attachment attaches to. Okay, so when I take that off there, look at the freedom you have with this. Okay, so say you just laid up and you just routed with a template. I did this on the CMS recently, and when we routed this, I needed to do a little bit of cleanup. Okay, so check this out. I set this at 90 earlier, and this gets right in there. Now there's two settings on here. Okay, and I'm going to turn this off so we can see it. You have hard and you have soft. And everybody wants to know what the soft is. Look at the little bit of play in there. So say this was a finished surface and I needed to sand it. It gives me a little play to make sure that I'm not gouging anything. Now, when I put it on hard here, okay, like this, and there's a scale here to set it to 90. I always double check 90 on this. I see sometimes when people are using this, they put it on here, and here's the adjustment, and that's how you set it at 90. I just like to use gauge blocks, and I'm going to tell you, this gets a perfect 90 degree. So say this was a countertop layout. Okay, I mean, this is going to be a butcher block for somebody for Christmas. Okay, but think about this, or a cutting board. I always still call them butcher blocks. That has to be, and look, see this right here? I'm taking out this line right here. This is why an edge sanding attachment. And I could take this, hold it perfectly like this, and eliminate those marks and keep this, and it's going away. And I could keep this at a perfect 90. Okay, so there you go. In other words, it eliminates getting an oscillating spindle sander. Now there's another piece on here, comes with it. This is we call it a velour. But say, look, I need to sand this pre-finished maple plywood. That gives it scratch free, just like that. Okay, so I thought I'd show you because the ETSC 125 works with the new edge sanding attachment, and I believe that's coming out December 1st. Also, to take it on and off takes about 1 minute. You just need a 5mm hex, and I'll show you that really quick. Come over here, Chris, so we can see this. Okay, it's 2 hex screws. Where are you? I'm always forgetting. See these 2 hex screws? But what you need is you need a hex screw. It has to be Festool, and we have that now in the limited edition hand toolkit. And it's just 2 5mm hex screws. It goes on and off really quick. I've also heard that a lot of people are getting an ETS 125 because they just want to leave it on there. I just want to let you know it takes about a minute to switch on and off. Okay? Wow, I covered batteries. I'm just going to review really quick. I covered batteries. I covered protectors. I covered the hybrid battery. I think I covered everything. I covered the bag. Are there any questions? Wow.
Oh, yeah. We saw that question.
That's a great question. A 3-sander set. That would be pretty cool. That's so cool. Oh, Chris, you're unbelievable. He's unbelievable. He's my reminder. Okay, so everybody, I think you all know this, but we have sustainers for the paper. Okay, so come in here. Look, this is my 125. I actually label grits. Okay, we have one. So every style of paper, like this is our 5-inch. So you get an ETS sustainer, 125 sustainer. Look, this is our DTS, and we also have it for the RTS. Okay, so there you go. I always like to label my grits so I know it just saves time. But don't forget you can get a sustainer for all of those. Okay, boy, that was a great idea. When are we coming out with a 3-sander pack? Okay, so here we go. Wow, man. We really appreciate you all tuning in. And I love it. We love it that you guys tell us where you're from. Okay, Bloomington, Indiana. Pumpkinville, Australia. Oh, good day, mate. Okay, Ottawa, Ontario. Woo, something name. Awesome. Festool, Canada. We love you. Florida, Yorkshire, UK. Pinehurst, Michigan. Vince, is that my buddy Vince from Canada? Vinny, how are ya? I miss you, pal. Perth, Australia. Tennessee, Ginger Woodworks. Haven Woodcrafts. Alma, I love you, babe, from Pink Soul Studios. We have Denmark. Bad Homburg, Germany. Is there a good ham? Minnie, you're so cute. The UK. Hi, Phil or Philly. We love you. And California and Pennsylvania. Wow, that was a fun one. That was a quick one. Slovakia's here. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap. There's not a lot of questions. Oh, you know what it must have been? Trappist must have been answering them wicked quick. We love you, Trappist. You're doing an awesome job. So I'm going to do a quick wrap up. I want to thank everybody. I hope you're enjoying your autumn. It's a beautiful day here in Indiana, and it's gorgeous weather. We're enjoying the foliage, the changing of colors, and we miss you. We want to have you back here someday. But until then, we're going to keep doing Festool Live on Festool Friday every noon. Do not forget to subscribe. And if you get any questions, just keep answering them. I think we're good. Keep asking them, but I think we're good. So thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend, and we're out of here.